Hi, Sam.
Hi, Lauren.
Are you ready to talk about Man of Steel?
I am, because after all, we are the Watchers of Movies.
I don't want the audience to think that you're that enthusiastic about this film.
I did tell you though, when we started this project, I was nervous that rewatching all of these movies that are crappy might make me like them again, as if I'll see something that I didn't see before. But that did not happen with this one, not by a long shot.
Oh, good. Yeah. Me neither. And I think that now, thinking back on it, I think that the only reason I really bought it is because I think Henry Cavill is a babe. Really, it's definitely not the plot. It's not the character development.
Yeah, I don't think he's a very good actor.
I don't know. I go back and forth on him. When he was first cast as that character, people were freaking out because they're like, what? An American has to play Superman. It's
I hate that.
Superman's not even from Earth.
That's perfect.
He's not
a Kryptonian
has to play Superman. And they're like,
oh my gosh,
they have to be played by an American. But speaking of British people, have you been doing any research about certain British people lately?
Oh, it's so nice of you to bring this up. Lauren is alluding to the fact that I'm very anxious for the royal baby to be born. And I told her today that and this is true, every day throughout the day I get online on BBC.com and I just pray for a headline that says, it's a girl or it's a boy. And
that's all you want to know.
What is the baby real? I actually did type this into Google. Is Meghan Markle really pregnant?
I thought you were joking.
No, I really
you were serious?
I really did.
Oh my god.
And I was at work. I told you the story, but I was at work the other day and they have TVs in the common areas that play news channels, and there was a news story about the royal baby, and I stopped to watch it, but I was like, play it cool, pretend that you would have stopped for any news story, but I wouldn't have. It was just, I saw a headline that was like, royal baby countdown, and I thought, oh, here it comes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She's giving birth right now?
And I don't know why I'm so ashamed of it. I should just own it, but I got up at 6 a.m. to watch, or 5:30 to watch the royal wedding.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that you were such a Royals fan. We've known each other for 8 years now or something.
Yeah.
It's like every day is a new adventure with you. Just you remember that one time when we were at Meyer or something, and I just started it was a thing of, I think it was cards or something like that, and I just started air humping it, and you were like, every time I think I know you, you do something that just surprises me.
I remember that. It was amazing physical comedy, but I've never seen somebody do that in a public place.
Really felt like those cards needed my love.
It was something that you were really excited about.
I think it was movies. It was something I was really excited about. Well, because obviously...
Hide your DVD collection.
She's coming for everyone out there.
That was like a double meaning.
Yeah, I know. It's gross. It's gross. I just don't usually feel excited about babies, but my cousin just had a baby and I'm in love with that tiny little angel.
She's so cute.
She's so freaking cute. She's my background on my phone, and I wake up every morning and I go, oh my god, her little face.
You told me this story that I thought was really endearing, where she was babbling on a video that your cousin sent, and your cousin said she had stories to tell. And she was so cute.
So many stories to tell.
Yeah.
She does. She has so many stories to tell us.
Yeah.
But, she's just a little baby, so I won't be able to understand most of them.
Yeah.
They're in baby language.
I wish babies...
real language.
I wish babies could talk so I could ask them what it looks like in the womb. Is that weird? I just really want to know.
Black. I guess I could look
have
their eyes open. I don't think.
No, I think they do in some pictures.
In the womb?
Yeah, I think they're like water animals when they're in there. They're just like breathing and
They
looking.
can breathe naturally. Like if you if you give birth in a pool, they will hold their breath.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, dogs do that too. Like if they dive in the water.
Really?
Well, I think
It's like
because
instinctual.
yeah, otherwise water would go up their noses.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it makes sense that probably every animal holds
Yeah.
its breath when it goes underwater.
I don't know. I think
We're so smart.
yeah.
Honestly, I mean,
I'm
like the number 2, scientist at NASA, right here.
Number 2.
The number 2.
We're both
We're both
that
number 2.
position.
I meant like the top 2.
Oh. I thought you were saying there's still at least one person at NASA that's smarter
I
than
mean,
us, but there's
I would
nobody
think there's
that's
a
equal
lot
to
more
us.
people.
We're equal to each other, but one person is smarter than us, and then the rest of the people fall in line behind us.
I think that there's probably a lot more than one person in NASA that's smarter than us. No offense,
No.
listen. I'm a smart person, but when it comes to science and math, it's just like a blank fucking slate up there. Like,
It's called the BFS.
blank fucking slate.
Yeah, we're also the smartest acronym scientists.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so
Speaking
smart. I
of
feel
NASA.
drunk, and it's
Oh.
weird because I have not been drinking.
Oh, that's
I mean, I
unfortunate.
might be. I have a cup. You don't know.
I don't
it's
know what's in
okay,
your
so,
cup. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. It could be vodka.
Yeah, and
Could be
vodka's clear.
Dimetapp.
So
Did you ever?
totally.
Did you like Dimetapp when you were a kid?
I don't think I ever had it.
I
when
used
was a
to-
kid.
I used to love the flavor of Dimetapp, and this is my tirade. Why can't they make adult cough medicine taste as good as they make Dimetapp taste? Because I used to want to be sick so I could take Dimetapp.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it.
I like Pepto-Bismol.
Oh, really? I've never
Yeah.
had Pepto-Bismol.
It's just like this weird, like milky flavor. I don't know, like it's milk of magnesia or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. I always liked.
interesting.
I would just drink it right out of the bottle, literally. Yeah.
I just wish that Meghan Markle would give me an update and tell me her due date or
She-
tell me how she's feeling.
Did she lose your number? That's so rude.
You know, the royals aren't allowed to keep personal social media sites.
Yeah.
So I have no connection to her except
She gave up a lot when she married Harry.
I know.
Like,
It's such a hard thing.
it's like I can't even imagine. I mean, and this is just me, but I would never want to be a princess if I had to give up the things that I loved.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I guess the thing is,
Well, also there's so
it's
much.
kind of a trade-off. I would hope that she really loves him. I would hope that their connection is real and they really love each other
Yeah.
and it's not all, for show or just money or something. I would hope that what she had to give up is nothing compared to what she gained in
Well,
terms
yeah.
of having like a partner and a family but I agree with you. It's rough.
British people are a little more like, not uptight, but just more.
Decorum is more important.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we have like websites like, people in Walmart. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder what their
Americans.
Walmart equivalent is.
We're kind of like the big ol' like blemish on
Oh.
the British's face as far as
Well, because they lost.
because they lost
this
the war.
makes you sound super patriotic, like those people lost the war. They're just been jealous of us this
we're
whole
gonna
time.
we're gonna throw all your tea in the harbor.
Yeah.
You British like
What
your
is
tea?
this?
Well,
What
just
is this?
guess what?
Chamomile?
Like,
Who's
You're-
Earl Grey?
You're gonna be
Who
waking
is
up in the
Earl
morning to brown brackish gray. I don't know. Where did that
Oh
come from?
man!
It didn't
Speaking
really
of
make
British
sense.
people,
Earl of Grey.
Earl of
Is it a real person? Probably
I
not.
don't know. I think he invented tea.
What's a female Earl?
Earlette.
Earlette. An
I don't think
Earless?
there is a female Earl. An Earless? That's
I
a good question. Maybe
mean-
all Earls are notoriously celibate.
Maybe they're
Men,
No, but they're men. So I don't know. I just listened to something today about the Devils of Loudun, which was about this guy who was a priest, and he's like going around, he's screwing all these women.
Oh, like
Yeah.
like stealing their money and stuff.
No, like having sex with.
I'm just kidding.
yeah, sure. Okay, right. Anyway.
Oh man, you know what I hated about Man of Steel?
What?
Every bit
Go-
of
excellent segue.
no. I was thinking of Britain and America and Walmart, and I was thinking every scene on Krypton I really disliked.
Why?
Krypton looks like a terrible place.
Dude, I know. Everything looks like it's made of steel, which is
Yeah.
probably why he's called Man of Steel.
Oh my
God.
I just, speaking of the royal baby,
Mm-hmm.
something that I really dislike in all movies across the board is I have two
I
things
think I know what you're gonna say.
two things that I really don't like in movies, and one of them is women giving birth.
Oh my God! Like Knocked Up. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
They show her giving birth, and I was
Oh.
like, I'm gonna like lose.
Oh
Like,
yeah, they
everything.
show
I'm gonna
like the
throw
baby
up.
crowning or something. That's not even what bothers
So
me.
gross.
What bothers me is just the women like screaming and panting, and I just hate it. I dislike. I don't like to watch it. And the second thing.
What
in
if they
movies-
showed Meghan Markle giving birth?
No, I like that she's super classy and refined. I don't want to
You
see
don't
her
want to see
like.
her screaming and losing it.
Well, also the
That's
thing.
how it all started.
Here's something that I don't like. I've had friends who've given birth, and they've said that if you scream in the delivery room, the nurses will tell you to be quiet. Or this is, I
What?
mean, I don't know if this is across like every delivery room, but so movies make it seem as if they have the whole place to themselves, I guess, and they're like, I'm in pain, so everybody pay attention to me. I don't know. All that aside, I don't like birth scenes in movies, and this movie opened up on a birth scene.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I
At least
knew
you
it
didn't
was
see
gonna be rough.
anything. I mean.
And I just thought the Krypton scene seemed really boring. There was no explanation.
Yeah, there. I actually have some notes about that because the whole thing where they're putting him in the little rocket or whatever to go
Oh
to
yeah,
Earth. Like, they didn't give any explanation as to why his parents didn't go with him.
yeah, nothing like.
And I put a question mark too because I was like, why didn't his parents go with him? Because I was waiting for them to give an explanation.
Yep.
And he was like, oh well, we had Kal-El or whatever. No, not Kal-El. That's the guy.
That's
the
Superman's name.
The dad.
Oh, Jor-El.
Yeah.
Jor-El.
Let's just call him Russell Crowe.
Sure.
By his real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept waiting for him to give an explanation. And also, when they were in Michael Shannon's ship, and he kept opening all those doors by, like, holding his hand in, like, a fist, I was like, okay, you're someone's consciousness. You can't physically
dumb.
do anything.
Yeah.
Like, and he's, like, able to open doors. I was just
Oh
like,
my
what
gosh.
the hell? I mean...
Also, there's this scene where Russell Crowe like jumps into like the baby plant farm, and swims up through like the baby plant buds, and he grabs the codex.
Yeah.
Which we really
Like, there's no explanation.
So the codex is a skull,
Yeah.
and then he swims
Well,
back.
don't they say it's like the DNA or the Save the Future or whatever?
Yeah, it's like
but it's like,
It's like everybody.
just
on
skulls
Krypton.
don't have DNA on them, though. I mean,
This is the codex.
maybe the Kryptonic skulls
Yeah.
do.
But he swims. There's
They're not
a
made
scene.
from calcium.
It's a visual that I really disliked. So he picks the codex, which is apparently like probably the most
Valued?
valued relic
Mm-hmm.
in Kryptonian society.
Yeah.
And he swims back down through the baby trees. And then the next shot,
That's what they look like.
they're like little
baby
spring
trees.
buds of babies. But
no.
then the next shot, his hand is coming up out of the water, and he uses the hand that's
Yes!
holding the codex to
oh
pull
my God,
himself
that's so
up on
funny,
the
'cause I
ledge.
was thinking that too.
And I thought that's just really like that artifact is probably worth more than
like the
like
planet.
you can never recreate
Yeah.
it because it's apparently and he's just
Well,
using
and
it to
that's-
climb up on the ledge.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Dude, and that's why Michael Shannon came to Earth was to get the codex.
Codex. And
Like,
also,
literally,
I would have laughed if
like he was willing to destroy the planet with
Yeah.
8 billion people in it for a skull.
and I would have laughed if it would have broken and Russell Crowe would have just looked at him and be like, well, no, there's two. You know? Yeah.
Well, shit. Yeah. I mean,
So,
you're right. I noticed that
It
too.
really
and I
bugged
was
me.
just
And
like,
I thought nobody on set
What?
said, is it Zack Snyder that directed it?
yes.
Nobody
but-
said, Mr. Snyder, just one thing. Should he use the codex to lift himself up on that ledge?
No.
It's a skull. I mean, even though it's a Kryptonian skull, it's still probably fragile.
Do you think that they were inspired by Avatar?
Oh, yeah, that creature that he
okay.
flew
Like,
with.
did
Yeah.
Avatar? I wonder if they came out at the same time. I'm gonna look it up. You keep talking.
Also, there was something that really bothered me that they never explained. They explained later in the movie that everyone on Krypton was created for a purpose, but they didn't explain how his parents had a natural baby. And I'm just wondering,
Oh no. They
did his
didn't.
parents, were they the only Kryptonians who got it on, basically? Or was everybody sterilized and they just
Right.
weren't? How were they able to have a baby when nobody else was?
Right.
Or is there just no sex drive?
Right.
Like, was it a chore for them? Was he like,
yeah.
I guess
He's like,
we
oh,
could
to
try
get like
it,
my.
but
Yeah. It was made in 2009. That's when Avatar came out. So,
Oh,
and this one
okay.
came out in 2013.
oh, nice.
Yeah, so it could have been definitely inspired by Avatar.
They had some B-roll footage of the creatures that they just
They're
borrowed.
just like, well, I mean, yeah, it's just, but it's just, no, there's no explanation. There's no explanation why there's all these baby trees, you know, and
It's just that they
These weird
create a
creatures-
perfect race, basically.
yeah, and it's very, I mean, very like, you know, eugenicsy of them, but
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. Like if your entire race is dying and you find another planet that has a very similar race, wouldn't you want to like interbreed with them to like?
So I have a funny story about Superman
Yeah.
procreating or like having sex with somebody. So in the movie, I think it's the movie Mallrats, the two characters had this discussion about how Superman could never have sex with Lois Lane. And
I think I might know why. Go on.
yeah, well, a while ago, years ago, one of my supervisors at work was saying, I think it was after the movie, you know that movie with Brandon Routh where he had a
Superman
son?
Returns.
Well,
Yeah.
my supervisor was saying,
I like that one.
we don't have to talk about it, but he was saying,
I own it.
they've already established, he said, in the movie Mallrats, they established why Superman could never have sex with Lois Lane, and I said, I don't remember, why was it? And then we were at work, like we were in a one-on-one, so it was like a meeting discussing my performance. It was just me and him, my supervisor, and he looked really uncomfortable, and he said, well, because Superman would blow the back out, or like blow out
Yes.
Lois Lane's back, and as soon as he said it, I thought, why did I even bother asking for clarification? I should have known it was probably something gross. Except he's the one
supervisor.
I blame him for bringing up sex in the first place.
Yes, that's true. I mean,
But anyway, yeah.
um,
To back to your point,
no, actually, you know what? It's funny because I saw a comic once that someone had drawn. Someone had drawn of them, and she's like lying on the bed and like, you know, in lingerie, and she's all like, "Oh, Clark, I'm so excited to like, you know, have sex with you. Like, I had no idea you were Superman because I'm just really dumb." And
it's the
and,
glasses.
and he's just like super hot and like, you know, he's taking off his shirt or whatever. He's all like built and shit, and he takes off his pants. She points at his dick and she goes, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like, it's my penis. And she's like, "Why does it have all these barbs coming out of it?" And I was just like, oh yeah, their anatomy might be a little different.
That's another point. That's a good point.
Oh,
Alien-
and
it's just lucky that alien races look like humans.
look like humans, exactly
Yeah.
like humans. So my supervisor had made a point about why does Lois Lane trust Clark? Like, what has he done? And you know, and the first time that
Yeah.
they meet, he's like holding her wrists to stop her from attacking him.
Oh, but she's like mortally wounded, though.
I know, but like, oh, and also, how did he know that she was internally bleeding? Did you notice
Oh,
that?
because apparently he can cauterize wounds and diagnose
And he can
injuries.
see. Well, he can
Yeah.
see inside. I mean, he has X-ray vision, but he's like, oh, you're bleeding internally, and I was like, like what? You don't know that? Like, you're just like, I mean, how do we
Yeah.
know if like Clark has any education beyond high school?
I don't.
You know?
I have more to say about that, but I do have something. To your supervisor's point, I agree with her because I thought their romance was probably the most boring romance I've ever watched.
Oh my god.
And they had hardly any scenes together. They barely talked or got to know each
I
other.
know.
They had she met up in the he met her in the graveyard and they talked very briefly.
And she's like super flirty with him, and he's
Yeah.
like, "You need to leave me alone."
He's
She's
just
like,
this
"Oh my god,
boring
you're here."
blank slate. Yeah. And then they have the scene where she's all catty with him in the room where she goes, "Why don't you call it?" And she was gonna say Superman, but there was like a microphone feedback.
Yeah.
And then they kissed after
Yeah.
the big fight.
Well, actually, so there is a part where they're in the cornfield and they're having this like, it's a pretty intensified moment. And if they had kissed at that part, that would have been a great kissing. Like it would not a great scene.
No, I don't
It
think
would've
any of their
definitely been-
love story was.
It definitely would have been a lot better than the scene that they actually kissed because that was so cringy. I was
cliche.
literally, dude, I was sitting here with on my couch because we're at my apartment right now, just FYI. I was sitting there with my my blanket pulled up to my face because I was like feeling so much cringy secondhand embarrassment. And then she's like, "I heard that it all goes downhill after the first kiss," and I was like, "Lois, shut up,
I
man."
hate that stupid line.
Like this, he's like this stupidly
Stupid.
attractive guy, and you just kissed him. Like, just enjoy it. Just enjoy
I want to take
like,
a poll and how many first kisses would have led to second kisses if somebody had said, it's all downhill.
Yeah,
after
I'd
this.
be like, "Okay, fine, then we don't have
Are
to
you-
see where
okay.
it goes." Like, all right,
You're not excited about this step we just took together?
Yeah,
I don't
it just-
understand.
But their kiss was so cringy, and you're right. The romance was like it was so forced.
It was non-existent.
And that's the thing too, is that it's like this is okay, and so this leads me on to another point. This is the most, like, you could say probably the most popular, most famous superhero in like American comic history. You
yeah,
could say
he's probably
that.
the most well known
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
And so they had this amazing, perfect chance to give him this backstory that makes you really into the character, makes you really empathize with him, and makes you really like him, and they just blew it. And I always compare it to Batman Begins because Batman Begins is a phenomenal film. I love that movie. I think it is one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen, and they really dig into Bruce Wayne's past and and why he is the way he is, and you're like, "Oh my god, I really like this character because he's very well written and he's very interesting and complex." And with Clark, it was like there was a couple scenes where there was some dudes that were jerks to him, and he was like holding on to something that
He's
was like
restraining
breaking.
himself.
Yeah, like, and it was like, okay, so he has restraint. Great, show us that in one scene. Like, we don't need to see multiple scenes of it.
Yeah.
You know. And he has a good moral center. Great. Like, we know that. We all know who Superman is. It's just,
Actually, that reminds me the point that Mike said, which was a perfect point about the movie. He said the whole movie is like a trailer.
Mhm.
You never get in depth about anything. It's
No.
just like a giant trailer with a bunch of scenes, and that's so true.
It is.
And-
You're right. It is. It
Yeah,
totally is.
You don't get in depth about his childhood. You don't get in depth about his adulthood. You don't
Dude,
know
my
how
face
his
is
parents
getting
brought
red,
him.
getting all worked up about this.
But I did want to say, I thought the woman who played his mother on Krypton was super pretty.
Yeah, she was pretty.
She's
I don't
very
know. I don't
pretty.
know. the
And I was
actress's
gonna look
name.
up who she was, but I don't care enough about the movie. No, I
get it,
just
I
didn't
get it,
think
I
of
get
it. But I just thought she's really pretty. I wonder if she's been in other things.
I
'cause-
think maybe she's not like an American actress or something, or she does a lot of foreign
I don't
films or
know.
something, you know.
she was really brave. Like the planet was exploding, and she
She's
just got
standing
engulfed.
there, she's like-
she got engulfed in flames. No,
Yeah,
she
she's
has
like,
no.
"Aw."
She has
Oh.
no instinct to save herself. She
No,
just stood there and let it happen.
I know. Like, go with your kid. I know.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's like Winter's Tale where they let him out
Oh,
on the
jeez,
boat.
yeah.
And they're just like, good luck surviving,
Yeah.
you baby. Like,
We'll send you
infant
in
that
this-
can't even hold its head up. Like,
Don't worry, you'll encounter some mysterious etch-a-sketches that will tell you where you're from. Oh, that was something else I was going to bring up when you mentioned when her and Lois Lane and Clark Kent first met. She climbs into this alien ship, and it's weird because she has no fear or, like, she's not marveling at it. She's not afraid of it.
Right.
She's climbing into an alien ship. It's you know, the technology is obviously modern, futuristic, so she
Right.
knows it's out of this world. She
Yeah.
encounters one of those flying Etch-a-Sketch things or like a drone,
Yeah, you're right.
and she has no fear of it. Instead, tries to take a picture of it, and I think you deserve what you got because you have no fear of the unknown.
She's a victim.
She has no fear of the unknown. If I'm
You know,
in a ship and the thing is
no.
flying at me, I'm not gonna like take a picture of it. I'm gonna leave or something. You know, just,
Right, and that she's Lois Lane is like, it's so unfortunate because Amy Adams is awesome.
she's a great. I love Amy Adams.
love Amy Adams. I think
Yeah.
she's a fantastic actress.
I agree.
And it's either like, well, they should have cast someone that had a lot more chemistry with Henry Cavill because, man, that was just like so bad. Like Tom Cruise had more chemistry with him in Fallout than,
yeah.
I mean,
I just don't like Henry Cavill. I think
that's
he's a
sad.
bad actor. I think
he's not great.
he's like a marker board with no writing on him.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I don't know if that even makes sense. I just think
He's.
he's very flat all the time.
And remember I had said something about him before where I was like, he just doesn't strike me as the type of, like, he's good at doing action roles. Like, he's kind of like Tom Cruise in that aspect. Like, although Tom Cruise is a pretty decent actor, though. Like, he's done quite a few things where he's been in his, later years. But anyway.
He's kind of like Jason Statham.
Yeah,
Or
but...
Vin Diesel, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, all
Except
action
I think
would
that
be
Vin
fine
Diesel's
for
a
him.
little bit of a better actor than him.
Oh, no.
I mean,
I
he
don't
played
know.
Groot. That obviously took a lot of talent, so...
The thing about Vin Diesel is he knows. I mean, I know what he is, so it doesn't bother me that he's a bad actor. But I feel like Henry Cavill is. They're trying, like, Hollywood is trying to make me believe that he's a good actor,
Yeah.
and I'm not falling for it.
No.
Nobody in Hollywood is trying to make me believe Vin Diesel's a good actor.
That's true, and it's like what I said before, where I feel like he just doesn't have the ability to portray a very like emotionally like in-depth character. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
he doesn't have the emotional range.
No.
And
I
I was
liked him-
just gonna make a Harry Potter reference, but
Oh.
sadly.
Oh. I live to disappoint you. I thought he did really good in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. That's one
but
of
that
Henry
was not an
Cavill's
emotionally
best-
compelling.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was.
He was all
he was good in
business.
Fallout too.
Yeah,
In
when he's
Fallout,
all
yeah.
business, he's not
Right,
too
exactly,
bad.
and
Yeah.
I mean,
But I still don't. I mean, I would never see a movie because he was in it.
I would not see it in theaters.
It's a little caveat. Probably
I mean,
see
like,
it.
I think he's really good looking. So obviously, there's.
He's all right looking.
He is.
I could
kind of
never.
attractive.
Okay, I
He's
could
that
never
mustache.
say he's ugly. I could never ever say Henry Cavill is ugly. Is it Cavill? I don't know.
I don't know. He has this video that I watch every now and then because he's adorable, where he is talking about shaving off his mustache, and he's actually really funny. Like, he's a very funny person,
Oh.
which is kind of surprising. But he did this whole interview where he was talking about his mustache from Fallout, and he's like, yeah, my mustache keeps me up at night. I have to put it in a little sling, and like I have to let it sleep before it lets me sleep, and like it's just. But he's just like this funny guy, and I'm like, dude, you should be doing these roles that like
You know
play to your
what?
strengths
Actually,
as an actor.
that
you
reminds
know?
me of Channing Tatum because I used to not be a fan of Channing Tatum because I saw him in serious roles that I don't think he's very good in. But then I saw him in 21 Jump Street, and I think he has really
comedy,
good comedic
yeah.
timing.
He's a good comedy
and I
actor.
thought, everyone's casting this guy as like a brooding, serious role because of what he looks like, but he's
know.
actually
Eye roll.
really good at comedy.
I know.
And I think didn't he do one of the voices in the Lego movie?
I don't know.
I thought he
don't
did
remember.
Superman or something.
It's like
Anyway.
and that's how I feel about like Vince Vaughn. I think Vince Vaughn is great at serious films. I've seen quite a few of his where I've been very impressed. Like Return to Paradise was one of the most like, oh my god. I don't know. Have you ever seen that
I've
movie?
never seen it.
Dude, it is so emotionally like draining.
Is he
like,
a main
it's
character?
So yeah,
Oh.
and he was in The Cell too, and he was really good in that.
Oh yeah, that's Jennifer
Yeah,
Lopez.
like he's
I
like.
might have seen that. I
But
don't
as a
remember.
comedy actor, I'm like every time he like cracks a
Yeah.
joke, I'm like, dude, stop! You're not funny.
So
And same
yeah,
with
that's a good
Ashton
point.
Kutcher too. I think
Oh.
Ashton Kutcher's a good serious actor. I don't think he's funny.
Well, I think his Ashton Kutcher's I said humor
Humidity?
and comedy. His humor goes
Humidity.
almost immediately to I'm dumb, and
Yes,
that's never
yes.
funny. I don't
And it's
think.
it's not. It's like, oh, you're dumb. That's
Yeah,
not
how-
like Michael Kelso at all.
Yeah, how do you survive from day to day with that?
Like
Brain,
right. I
you
mean,
know?
and
Yeah.
you know when they did it with Trip on American Housewife, that was cute. It was endearing.
Did
like,
you see
Trip
the
was endearing.
Did you see? This is I'm gonna dive into like some really specific territory, but there was an episode. I think this past week the
Yeah.
episode was on. There was an
I
episode
think I just
on,
watched it last night.
and
actually.
they were gonna skip school and go to an amusement park,
Yeah.
and Trip kept having questions, and he was like, "You
He
don't
doesn't
have to understand the
understand.
plan
I
for
know.
the plan to work."
He's
Anyway,
holding his hand up. I was like, "You precious little angel, just sit down in the
Yeah.
corner. It's fine. We'll take care of you."
anyway, yeah.
it's
So it just
yeah.
I think Henry Cavill is good looking, but I wouldn't like cross the street for him.
no, and I wouldn't either. I mean, there's very few actors that I would do that for. It would be like maybe
Well, there's
Timothy
a
Dalton,
loud
and that's
car.
kind of where it ends. Like for some reason.
Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, totally. It would totally be Timothy Dalton. I love him.
Oh
Are you
well,
kidding me?
I'm
Like-
talking. I mean, like I'd probably meet. Okay, maybe I should clarify.
Oh.
I just meant he's not, to me, the best looking actor in Hollywood. But if he was across the street, I would probably want to meet him
Who
still
is it?
because he's famous. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that was a terrible. That was stupid. I wish I'd never said anything.
Oh, don't worry
I
about
just
it.
don't
you're
think he's
fine.
the best looking actor.
Who do you think is the best looking actor? Oscar Isaac.
I think Oscar Isaac is good looking, but
I think
Ewan
he's really
McGregor.
cute. Really?
Ewan McGregor is probably even when I was a child, Ewan McGregor was my favorite, and even though
I
that
don't
little
find him attractive.
even that little ponytail he had in Star Wars couldn't kill it for me.
Although I have very weird tastes in men. So.
I guess he's always been my favorite. Ewan McGregor has, but
I like him too, but
yeah. But Oscar Isaac is also good looking.
yeah, he's very good.
Apparently, only Star Wars actors.
yeah,
I don't know.
only that's
Yeah.
the only realm.
And
I mean, how about that
Chewbacca.
Hayden Christensen?
Oh, jeez,
no,
no.
and Peter Mayhew
Oh,
just
yeah, he
died.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know that he had giganticism or.
Oh, I
I
didn't know that either. I thought,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
But he was so tall and thin. I guess I wouldn't have pictured that.
like,
he
not
had.
to share an unpopular opinion, I'm not super into Star Wars. Like, I like it, I enjoy it, but I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of more of a Star Trek girl. Actually,
Really?
yeah.
Hmm.
From what I've seen of Star Trek, I've always liked Star Trek. You know, and I haven't seen a lot of it, so I'm not really like into Star Trek either. But
Huh. I like them both. I think they're both really good. I think they stay in their lanes really well. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
Like they're good.
yeah, I mean, I think people, a lot of
they
people
excel
compare
at
them.
What they, yeah, of
You
course.
know,
Oh,
yeah,
naturally,
yeah, like Star Trek and Star Wars. But anyway, so back to the movie. So
Yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately, we have to talk about Man of Steel. Not,
Unfortunately,
not attractive
we
actors
both didn't
in Star
fall
Wars.
asleep in the middle of it. Just-
Oh, we both-
yeah, we both
Yeah.
fell asleep watching this movie
I fell
separately.
asleep.
We weren't together.
Yeah,
But, you know. Oh, so actually, one of the things that I was thinking about, which I thought would be kind of interesting, was his reaction in the classroom where he starts freaking out because he's seeing like X-ray
Oh.
vision. I was thinking like they should have gone into that with like a teacher, and the teacher had been like, maybe your child is autistic, because
Oh.
he was having and I
Yeah.
thought the way he was reacting was like someone who has autism, was like a very visceral and reaction to like loud noises and stuff like that, and becoming overwhelmed and locking yourself in a small space that's dark. Like it just seemed like I was like, that would be an interesting way, to explore this character. But then Martha's like, well, my kid is just a super.
I agree with you about that because I think the story could have been pretty compelling if they would have delved into a true origin story of how difficult it was growing up with crazy superpowers.
Oh, yeah.
And there was something that really bothered me about that scene because he went into the closet and everyone was just gathered around the closet, and they
Yeah.
were all standing there while his mom was talking him out. And then he came out and gave his mom a hug, and they had this really heartfelt moment with the entire student body still standing
Yeah, I
there.
know, that was
Really
weird. I
weird.
mean, there was a bunch of scenes where they tried to really make his connection with his parents very profound.
Yeah.
You know, with the scene with Kevin Costner was where he's like, "Can't I just be your son?" And Kevin Costner, and this part always makes me kind of get a little choked up
Yeah.
because he like you can hear in his voice. He gets a little choked up and he's like, "You're always gonna be my son." And I was like, "Oh my God, Kevin
It's
Costner!"
a really good moment. See, yeah,
You know,
and
and
they
like,
would have
Kevin
made the
Costner
movie
is
longer
awesome.
with
Yeah.
those scenes and shorter with the
Exactly.
other. Yeah.
Well, and like no one needs to see a 20-minute fight scene. And why
No.
did he end up killing Zod? That's like his big thing is that he doesn't kill people.
Well, I had some problems with. I don't know if you want to talk about the final fight scene now or wait.
That's the one I fell asleep during.
But
I don't care. We're bouncing all over.
yeah,
It's fine.
well, there's a couple things that really bothered me. Oh, I don't even know if I can get into it without getting into the whole other list of things. But the fight scene was really boring, and it was just mindless destruction.
yes,
Purposeless and mindless. Like the first of all, the armed forces destroyed that small town.
I no.
Superman says to people, "Go inside. It's not safe." And I thought, well, you might as well tell them to leave town because it doesn't seem like it's safe anywhere.
No, and it's actually funny that you said that because I was thinking that exact same thing. I was like, "What? You think you're gonna be safe inside? They're tearing.
Yeah.
They're hitting the wall, and the thing explodes.
They're
like,
using intense automatic weapons.
yeah,
Like warplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You know-
not to mention people from a different planet with
Right.
their weapons.
it's, so the villain, the female villain. I don't know her name, but
I don't either.
she was in Pandorum. Did you ever see that? It's kind of like a sci-fi.
might
It's a
have.
little bit of a horror movie, but it's not super horror-y. It's pretty good. It's
There's
with
a
Ben
few
Foster.
movies that came out around that time that I kind of confused, so I'm not sure if I saw it or not.
But you might like it. But anyway, it's pretty decent. She was in that, but anyway, I thought she was kind of a cool character. She had a lot of one lines that were like a little lame, but the a good death is its own reward. I was kind of like, that's kind of a cool saying.
I was gonna say, I
I
thought you were
kinda
gonna
like
say
that.
it was lame, and I was
No,
gonna
I
say
liked
of all
that.
the
I was
lines, I
like-
actually
I was
liked
like,
that. Like,
yeah.
what a really good
But
thing
when
for a villain
Christopher
to
Maloney
say.
like says it back to her, I was like, dude, don't say that. Like that was her line. You know what I mean? Like
I
he was-
can't
He was trying to
take
be all like ironic twist of fate, and I was like, "Shut up, dude."
I can't take him seriously since seeing Wet Hot American Summer. Like, he'll never redeem himself for me. I'll always think of him as that character.
That's so
With
funny.
the can that talks to me.
I remember. Wait, was he? No, he wasn't the one that was having the relationship with the guy. No, that was someone else.
No, that was Bradley Cooper and
Oh, that was
what's
right,
his
Bradley
name?
Cooper
I don't
and,
remember the guy's name.
Michael Ian Black.
Yes, Michael Ian Black.
Yeah.
He was like he had like Vietnam flashbacks or something.
Oh yeah, he was like the
lunch
crazy
guy.
cook. Yeah. Wasn't he like threatening to kill everyone?
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've seen him in Law and Order SVU.
Of course. Yeah.
Obviously, but I also saw him in White Bird in a Blizzard.
You
which
told
is
me about
not
that movie,
that
but
good
I've
of a
never
movie.
seen
No,
it.
it's not that good.
Yeah.
Which of course my future wife Ava Green is in, which is the only reason I watched it, to be honest, because I love her. But his character was gay in that, and he ends up like having sex with Shiloh Fernandez. You know who Shiloh Fernandez is, right?
No.
No, okay.
Who
Did
is
you
it?
see? Did you see Red Riding Hood with Amanda Seyfried?
Oh boy, yes.
You didn't like that one? I didn't like Amanda Seyfried. in it, though.
Unfortunately,
She's
I
like
did
a-
not enjoy that movie.
She's one of those actresses too, where I think she's really good at comedy.
Yes.
Not good at
She was
serious
good in
shit.
Mean Girls.
She's like, well,
And she even played like a stupid character in Mean Girls, but I liked her, so that's saying
well, she was
something,
cute
I
in
guess.
Mamma Mia, you know. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Everything. So, anyway, so Shiloh Fernandez is in that, and I follow him on Instagram because I'm kind of like
Oh.
obsessed with him a little bit.
I thought
he's like,
we were gonna start telling you about the movie, and you surprised me.
No,
by talking about.
my take away from you. No, he kind of looks like Joaquin Phoenix and Johnny Depp had a baby, or like a
Oh.
greasy, constantly dirty baby. But I think it's
So
hot
more of Johnny Depp
because I'm weird.
DNA.
It's kind of like that, but like in a way that makes me attracted to him because I'm not attracted to Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but you know, I have like that thing where like with certain actors like Sebastian Stan, when he looks like he's been on a bender for 3 days and hasn't slept, I'm like, wow, Sebastian Stan's like super hot. But then when he's all clean, I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm just weird. Like I'm just weird. It's just like one of those things, you know. I'm just weird. Anyway, so I forgot where I was going with
We were
that.
talking
Christopher Maloney had slept with
Yeah.
Shala Fernandez. It's not important. It's not a good movie. Don't watch it. Anyway, so so back to the film. You know, with the whole Lois and Clark relationship, I'm gonna go back to that. It's weird. Like what my supervisor said, I can't get past like the fact that they just. You know, if you're gonna have this movie, which there's clearly like a bunch of other movies that are after this film. You know, there's Superman.
They were definitely setting it up for a
Batman
franchise.
versus Superman. There's Justice
Yeah.
League. There's whatever else. Just have the relationship develop organically and naturally instead of forcing it, because that's a lot more exciting for viewers.
Yeah, or just give them more scenes together.
Yeah, that too.
Which
Just-
goes along, it's hand in hand with what you said, because then we'll know, oh, I can see why they like each other.
Right. Yeah.
But
I don't have the fight scene so long.
the fight scene was ridiculous. There was a part, so the main fight scene ended, they, like, collapsed the two things that were changing the earth,
Yeah.
and it was done, and then him and Lois Lane kissed, and then all of a sudden General Zod shows up, and I said to Mike, oh good, I thought the fighting was over.
Dude, you know what? It's funny
Oh
because I was
my
thinking that
gosh.
too. I was like, oh, thank God
And then
it's
it was
over.
just, but it
No,
wasn't.
It
And then it was
wasn't
almost
over.
like they were playing galactic dominoes because they were just knocking
So
over
upsetting.
buildings. And then
So upsetting.
the fight took place. They went further into the city, and I thought, shouldn't Superman, who he's trying to protect, take it
Yeah.
out to sea?
Right? Like,
Why would he go further downtown?
Dude, there's like nothing more anxiety inducing than watching people, like these superheroes, cause billions of dollars of damage to a city.
It was unreal.
To me, it's like you can't fight in an open field. Like, you're in Kansas.
Well, no,
you're in Kansas.
That's another thing. The geography of the movie really confused me because this was obviously a New York type
well,
city.
It's Metropolis.
I know, but where was that water? Because the last time I heard about Kansas, it was in the middle of the country, and there's not like
Oh, there was water.
they filmed it. Apparently, they filmed it in New York City, but Metropolis is supposed to be in Kansas. But where'd that water come from?
Oh, I didn't even notice that there was water.
Really? It was a bit. It was
Apparently not.
like
I fell
it was
asleep
an
at it,
ocean.
dude.
It looked like an ocean, and I thought.
Shit.
It was so weird. They were trying to have it
No.
both ways, basically.
Kansas is landlocked, everyone. If you didn't know that, it's the middle of the goddamn fucking country.
And apparently Metropolis is a coastal city, but still within
Apparently.
Kansas.
You know, and it's just like, and also, why did him and Lois Lane have to go up in that ship?
Oh, yeah, they never explained why
Like, it
General
was
Zod
just-
wanted her.
Yeah, like it was just to prove that like he wasn't as strong as he thought he was.
I don't know.
It was just weird.
I don't know.
Well, and also, with that whole thing, there was so much. It was getting annoying to me. There was so much of an allusion to him being a Jesus Christ character that I was like,
I was gonna bring that up.
oh my god! Like when he's like exiting out of the the ship. He's exiting out of the ship, and he's like holding his arms
Yeah.
out. Like I was like, wow. Is that maybe Jesus Christ? Like,
No,
it's
they
just-
started that way before that because
I
when he
noticed
was
that, yeah.
debating whether he wanted to turn himself into Zod or not, he went to a church and he sat down and they
Oh.
framed the shot, and right behind him is like Jesus in the garden right before he gets crucified to save all mankind, like
Oh
you know,
my
like
God.
and then I thought, oh, okay, so I'm supposed to think that Superman is struggling like Jesus did before
Right.
he was crucified for everyone.
Right.
And then then he's sitting in that little room with Lois Lane, and he goes, I've been here 33 years. And I said, oh, what? You want to say how old you are one more time? Is that
right,
important for the story?
Oh my
why is it important?
God.
Because you're 33, the same age that Jesus was when he was crucified for all mankind. It was... And then like the shot
I'm
of
exhausted.
him, yeah. It really irked me because I thought you can't let the audience, like draw those conclusions themselves.
Right. Like he's the savior of mankind. We get it, okay? Like, well, and also with that whole thing, why was he in the church to begin with? Was he even religious?
No, he was in the church
was
because
that a super awkward scene for you? Because I thought that was a super awkward scene.
The scene that served, the only purpose the scene served was because the director thought he needed to spell it out for the audience.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, the audience made him understand that he's going to sacrifice himself for everybody.
Right.
And then I thought that the priest was going to turn him in or something. I thought maybe the priest was going to tattle on him and say, "Oh, I know who Superman is."
Right.
But that never came into play. It
was very weird.
It was a scene just for the sake of spelling out what they had in mind with the story.
Was it to make you like him more? Because I thought that maybe if they were playing the religious aspect of it, like, oh, he goes into a church, which, by the way, he's standing in the foyer, whatever, for like 10 minutes watching this priest, and I was like, wow, creeper.
Super weird
Clark,
scene.
like,
they could have cut that scene out, and nobody would have said, oh, I really wish there was a scene of Clark in a church talking to a priest. Also, I think that the whole, like, priest confession thing in movies is pretty overdone. So
I do too.
If you're gonna do
it's relevant to the story, you know?
If you're gonna do it, then it has to be
right.
Because he could have had that same conversation with his mother.
Oh yeah,
who
and that
gave him much better advice in his life.
I mean, he should have had it with his mom.
Yeah,
there was not a lot of interaction with him and the parent. Like, I mean, this is just like the whole thing that really bugs me about that movie is that there's so many chances to show him as an empathetic and likable character, and they just fucked it up like continuously.
I should say that I don't care about Superman. I don't know if I've ever seen a Superman movie that has made me go, wow, I like Superman. He's too really impervious.
Yeah.
He's not interesting to me because he's
impossible
invincible.
To kill. Yeah.
And I think he's just kind of stupid with his glasses on, glasses off bit. And I don't care for his relationship with Lois Lane because I think, if I was Clark Kent, I would be a little bit offended if, like, Lois Lane liked me as Superman but doesn't like me. Because as far as I know, I don't think his personality really changes between the two characters.
No.
So he's the same person. He just, one of them he has glasses on and one of them he's just like a famous guy. So she likes famous Clark Kent.
Did I see this movie with you? I don't think so.
We saw it in the theater together.
We did? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think, was it, we were with someone else?
Nicole.
I was another person. Okay.
Reagan. Her name is Reagan now.
Reagan? Oh, she changed her name.
Yeah, she legally changed it.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool, yeah.
I like Reagan. That's a cool
Yeah, I like it too.
I used to babysit for a little girl named Reagan.
Oh, really? My brother's wife's name is Reagan.
Nice.
Let's talk about all Reagans.
Reagan's are great.
There was a president named Reagan, Ronald.
What? I actually saw one of his movies. I did. It's called John Loves Mary. It was not very interesting. Anyway, the only reason I remember it is because Ronald Reagan was in it. Anyway,
your favorite
I
president.
completely forgot where I was going with this. So
we were talking about seeing it in the theater together.
Oh yeah. When the part where he introduces himself as Clark to her.
Oh yeah.
Didn't I lean over you and whisper, does she not recognize him now? I remember that.
Yeah. And I was thinking that when I rewatched it, I thought, okay, I hope that's a cheeky smile and she knows who he is and not like I'm totally fooled.
Well, I remember your response too. You were like, I think she does know who he is. She just is trying to keep it quiet or something like that. I mean, it was something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but I mean, it was, 6 years ago.
I mean, if you think about it, they only had a few interactions, so it's not unlikely that she wouldn't recognize
She'd
him.
be like, wow, you look really familiar. Did we make out once or something? I mean, there was that guy that I told you about where I went to Disc Traders, and I was like, and his name was Brandon, as the same as that one dude I dated.
Oh.
And I was like, is this the guy that I dated, and I really could not remember, but I only dated him for a week, so it was like, you know, what, like 2-3 years ago?
Mhm.
It was like, this is, I don't think it was him, but.
Yeah, it was a lot like the
Yeah,
scene in Man
like
of
that.
Steel
When she's, I mean, I made out with the Brandon.
when Clark
and
Kent.
I
came
also
into
made
the
out
Daily
with Clark
Planet.
Kent, and then I forgot who he was when he took his glasses off. So, you know, I was like,
I was
It's
really
like,
disappointed.
wow.
I told you this, and I feel like I have to bring it up because I was really disappointed that we don't get to rip apart the scene from Batman vs Superman when he gets in the tub with Lois Lane and
Oh, I saw
like
the gif for
displaces
that.
all that water. I
thought it was
hate that.
Really cute. Why are you looking at me like you want to kill me? I only saw a gif of it, though. I didn't see the whole thing. I was just looking at his back.
That scene is
Dead.
terrible.
Back.
I was really-
It looked cute.
It wasn't cute.
Oh.
He,
Okay.
did you see all the water that was displaced?
I mean, it wasn't as bad as Shape of Water. This is the second time that I mentioned this movie in our podcast. It's relevant to everything.
Oh, speaking of, I guess The Shape of Water did have Michael Shannon in it.
It did, yeah.
Both of
Michael
these movies were
Shannon.
terrible.
What? You didn't like The Shape of Water?
No.
Oh, well.
Didn't I tell you didn't I go on a tirade about The Shape of Water?
I thought you just went on this tirade about the part where she fills up the bathroom with water. I liked it. Oh
That
man,
was
Michael
so
Shannon
terrible.
was so freaking terrifying in that movie,
He
though. He
was.
really grossed me out.
He never washed his hands.
I could not stop thinking about his character after I saw that movie because I was
Yeah.
so weirded out by him.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, I thought he was kind of attractive.
Yeah, with that like half rotted finger of him.
Oh
Ugh.
gosh, no, I did not like the shape.
Totally.
I didn't like The Shape of Water, but I liked
Sorry.
it more than Man of Steel. Like The Shape of
Oh.
Water had a point
Yeah.
ish. Even though I hate the scene where they fill up the bathroom with water, I hate it with a passion.
She's like, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
with the penis, like in Beauty and the Beast.
Like the flap or whatever.
Where she's like, she's like showing the what's her name, Octavia Spencer or whatever.
Yeah.
I had, so did you notice? I tried to count how many things that they advertised, but I only wrote 4 down.
Oh yeah, the product.
IHOP, 7-Eleven, U-Haul, and Sears.
Big time.
Were the
Yes.
ones I noticed.
Yes.
Like, big time was IHOP, and I was like, wow, I wonder if they're advertising IHOP in
And there
here.
was like Sears. The Sears sign was just in front of all that action as well, or behind all the
I
action.
know, it
And I
was
thought,
like,
man, I wish
geez,
Sears
man.
hadn't closed in our city because I really want to go there now.
Well,
I want to buy a washer and dryer, some tools, and some nice clothes. Where else can you do that?
I wrote in this, Snyder is not subtle.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like the whole Jesus thing, and then like the advertising, like,
Sears and-
by the way, we're advertising IHOP. Like,
I
really,
wish-
are you? I didn't notice.
I wish that they would have had like Coca-Cola and Krypton and had like Russell Crowe take a drink of it.
Like, Pepsi.
Pepsi. Dr. Cryptor.
Dr. Cryptor. I love it. I'm trying to look at other things that so Zod's scene over the TV was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish that they had done that and made that scarier. Because no, it was just like, because if that wasn't a horror movie, that would have been terrifying.
I mean, he's just lucky that he has like a media team and a graphic designer on his ship.
No,
to do that like text.
they all know what computers are. Like, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I played with an Etch-a-Sketch before. I know what a computer is.
I also wish that there would have been a scene of him flying through space, just recording that message in every language on planet Earth. Like, how long until we get to Earth? Well, about 32 years. Great. I have to record all of these in every language.
I have to learn every
Yeah.
language.
Yeah, no, I agree, because the sight of the ship was kind of spooky.
Right, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like in a better movie.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
would have made that scene super terrifying.
And when he was finally talking and it was presumably his face, but it just kept getting all fuzzy.
Yeah.
That was creepy because
Yeah.
the people on Earth didn't know what he looked like at that point.
Right.
So he could have been a monster, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't know. The scene where he took off all his armor. I started laughing at that scene because it was so ridiculous. Like he's shedding the armor, and then he's like, ah, and I was
He,
like,
points
are you
his
supposed to be like sexy? Like,
He's like floating and he points
Yeah.
his toes, and I wanted to be like, perfect point now.
He's like, I'm gonna do some ballet for you now,
Yeah.
Clark. Kal-El,
that-
I mean.
What's that Russian ballet ballerina like Baryshnikov.
He was in Sex and the City, I think. Was he?
Who? Baryshnikov?
No,
Oh,
was
I was
it
gonna say,
Baryshnikov?
I thought he was from a while ago. I don't know my ballerinos.
I don't know my ballerinos. Ballerinos?
Ballerinos. Maybe it's just dancer if it's a male. I'm not
It's
sure.
a male ballerino. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. No, not Baryshnikov. It's like something. It's something Russian. Anyway, it's not important. But he was that that particular Russian dancer that I'm talking about was on Sex and the City.
Oh, okay.
He was not a good guy. Not.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, but that's
but
terribly interesting for you.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree that the scene where he's on TV could
So,
have
like,
been done
which Sex and the
creepier.
City character are you? I think I'm more of like a Carrie / Samantha.
I like that you keep interrupting me about it. I never watched Sex and the City.
Oh, you're a little bit of a Charlotte.
Oh, why?
Charlotte's.
Can you
I like
tell me
Charlotte.
why?
Because she's like demure and she's a little more conservative. She's sweet though. She's cute. You like her.
Oh,
yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome.
There was something in the movie that I kind of liked.
Wait,
and
do you want to talk more about this?
How come Carrie never got an STD? Didn't she sleep with a bunch of people?
I don't know. I mean, they all should have. But
I'm just joking.
Samantha should have had all the STDs though. She was not. She's like actually one of my favorites. So she was always so unapologetic. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Which one is she? Was she Kim Cattrall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody got me a shirt once that said "I'm a Samantha."
Yeah.
It was like a
Right.
Sex and the City theme shirt,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, should I wear this? Is it something
You
to be
are
proud
like
of?
the least Samantha person I've ever met. Like, and I know your name is Samantha, but you are literally like the furthest from Samantha. Like you're not like her, and that's not a bad thing. I love Samantha, but you're just not her.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
definitely more of a Charlotte.
Thanks for comparing us.
Thanks
for saying-
no.
Thanks for saying how much you like her and then saying I'm not like her. That makes
I
me-
said I love Charlotte.
Never. Speaking
Whatever.
of Charlotte, I was looking at pictures of Princess Charlotte because her birthday was recently.
Oh my
And I was
God.
thinking, where's that baby? Where's that royal baby?
I want that baby. Show me pictures of that baby.
If I don't see pictures of a very well dressed baby in the next couple of months. Anyway, there was something in the
Oh my
movie that I
God.
actually I liked the idea of, and I wish they would have explored it maybe a little bit more. But I don't think that they did a bad job with what they worked with. So he takes the he takes the ship, and he presumably creates the Fortress of Solitude somewhere else. And Russell Crowe
Wait, I
is
thought
like,
that was the Fortress of Solitude.
yeah, like he took it, and that's how he got the Fortress of Solitude, because he like flew away and parked it somewhere else.
Right.
Anyway, and Russell Crowe's giving him all this.
Let's go to Antarctica where my Fortress of
Yeah.
Solitude is.
Russell Crowe's like telling him about his history, but then he says, "You'll have to test out your strength." And I thought that was a really cool scene of Superman just sort of like seeing what he could do. And I thought, if I could fly and I had super strength, I'd probably do the same thing, just like flying all over and going
yeah.
into space. So I thought that was kind of neat, and I liked, like, the movie could have been pretty awesome if they would have cut back on the adult Clark stuff, made a longer bit of the, like, Clark coming to terms with his powers,
I agree.
and then having a scene of him, like, learning his powers and, like, embracing them for the
Yeah.
first time, like he did in that scene.
Right, exactly. Like what they did with Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So that was like just so disappointing because that trailer that I sent you.
Oh,
the one
that
with-
trailer.
Yeah, because so the like that sold me like
That
into
trailer was
seeing
really
that
good.
movie like that
Yeah.
sold me like, and especially the song Elegy by Patrick Cassidy and Lisa Gerrard. It's just such a great song, and I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna be a fantastic film. And then I
Yeah.
watched it and I was like,
Even after I saw the movie, I watched the trailer and
Yeah.
thought, this trailer still looks good, even though I knew the movie
yeah.
is not.
Sometimes if I'm like just feeling nostalgic, I'll watch the trailer and
Yeah.
like not touch the movie.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I love this trailer and I love that song. I like Lisa Gerrard a lot,
Oh.
but she did the kind of like most of the score for Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but...
There was another thing I wanted to talk about that the trailer reminded me of, and it was the bus accident.
Mm-hmm.
This is another situation in the movie where they use water conveniently because they show an establishing shot of the bus driving through cornfields, just flat land, and then all of a sudden the bus gets a flat tire and careens off of a bridge. Where did the bridge come from?
You're right.
How long were they driving before they got to this water? And then something else that really bothered me is Clark lifts the bus out of the water, pushes it onto the shore, and then stays there for a while, enough time for all the kids to look. Well, no, like all the kids look back and see him there, and I thought, if I was Clark Kent, maybe I'd hide, be like, how'd it get up there? But then he saves the kid.
Yeah. You know, and that would have been, having him have a relationship with that girl
Oh, yeah.
would have, like, been something that would have been really interesting, but they never went into it.
No, they never went into it.
And it seems like there should have been something there, but there wasn't. It's just like another dropped ball. Like, you know, I mean, Zack Snyder is really good at dropping all them balls.
He's a ball dropper.
Maybe his balls I would actually drop, and that's why he's so bad at dropping balls.
Okay, Superman, I'm gonna need you to come here.
What do you want to do now? Thanks, Henry. It's great that you're here, man. I love you at work. You're just really awesome.
And then I like that Kevin Costner was like, maybe you should have let all the kids die.
He's like, maybe you should have just let those kids drown, Clark. And Clark's like, dude, what is wrong with you? I'm not going to let them drown. Like, I was like, that is, I mean, it's just, you know, he doesn't have any reason to be a morally upright character. You don't see any reason. Like,
well, Mike pointed something else out too, and he said, it's understandable why they're saying you should hide your powers, but why does he have to be a pacifist? Why can't he stand up for himself the normal amount? Or, you know, why can't he do things the normal level of human action and just not go, like, learn how to, like, keep his powers in check?
Right.
Because he can... Like, he can hug his mother, he can sit down on a chair, he can work without breaking things. So he knows how to be soft-footed, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it all or nothing? Like, why is it extreme?
Well, and that's just another drop ball, you know? It's just, I think that they had so much potential with this film, and they just did not live up to it, you know? It was like...
They were trying to fit in way too much as well, just too much stuff.
Like, and the thing is that I think that they were trying to include too much action, and it should have been more emotion.
Yeah.
You know, it should have been like, that's how you build an interesting character, is you have them have these emotional moments that make them grow, and, you know, it's just... I don't know. Man, I really want to watch Batman Begins, though. Now they're talking about it, I'm like,
Christopher Nolan directed that, right?
Yes, he did, and he did an awesome job.
I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan.
I like him, too. I like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really like The Dark Knight Rises, but...
Well, I feel like he kind of had... I sympathize with him because I think he had a plan for the trilogy in it because of what happened with Heath Ledger.
Oh, yeah,
I think that maybe they had to go... I don't know how much of a different direction they actually had to take, but I mean, maybe he had a different vision in mind. But
it's such a bummer. Yeah, I'm just like really bummed out now.
I remember when I learned that Heath Ledger died, I had a night class, I was in college, and my friend texted me, and I thought, that can't be true. And I looked it up, and it made me really sad. I feel sad when actors die sometimes, but if they're older, I don't feel as sad.
Yeah.
But he was so young, it made me, probably the most sad I've ever been about a famous person dying was when he died.
Robin Williams dying, like I grieved.
Oh, really?
I actually grieved over that. Yeah, it was, and I think it's the first, I cried when John Ritter died, because I was always a fan of him in Three's Company. Showing my age a little bit here, but, you know.
But, yeah, you know.
I don't actually know if
show we grew up with.
I don't even think I don't think it was. I don't think I grew up with it though.
Oh.
That was what, the 70s and 80s?
I think so, yeah.
I was born in 87. I mean, so.
Mm.
Anyway, but I loved him in Three's Company because I watched it on Nick at Night. And, but with Robin Williams, yeah, I actually, like, grieved over it.
Oh,
Like, I
wow.
felt sad for several days after he passed away. Yeah. It was
pretty tragic.
it
'cause
was the only
yeah.
the only actor I've ever felt like that about. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that way about. That's how I felt about Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, I was sort of embarrassed for myself because I thought, why are you so sad? But I think it was a combination of just, I liked his work and he was so young.
Well, and
You know?
and the way he went was so tragic. It was just like, another instance of not able to cope with what was, I mean, I wouldn't say mental illness necessarily, but it was, unable to cope with this character that he'd put his mindset in, and he just kind of went overboard, and it was
Yeah.
just like, I mean, as an actor, it's like you have to learn to
What do you have to do?
decompartmentalize.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or just
compartmentalize.
compartmentalize. You're saying he needs to put everything all together instead of keeping it separate.
You know what I mean? Compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Compartmental. Why can't I pronounce this word?
Have you ever heard of carpal tunnel syndrome?
Compartmentalize. All right, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was very tragic, and
Yeah.
he was he was such a phenomenal Joker too.
He was good. He was really good. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what Joaquin Phoenix is going to be like. I think he's definitely going to do a good job.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's the
think
potential.
I didn't care for Jared Leto's Joker.
I didn't see. Suicide
I
Squad.
did, but not because I didn't see Suicide Squad because I thought it would be a great movie. I saw it more out of curiosity about how bad it would be,
That's kind of the only
and
reason I
it
would
didn't
see
disappoint. It was pretty bad, but I didn't care for. I think
I like
there's a
Michael
lot of
Douglas.
mimicry that happens with Heath Ledger's character. I think it kind of felt like maybe Jared Leto was trying to make it his own, but within the confines of still copying the craziness of, like, the dark craziness of Heath Ledger's Joker. So
Right.
I think if Joaquin Phoenix can take it in his own new direction, it could be good.
I think he will.
Yeah.
My friend always said that Jake Gyllenhaal would be a good Joker.
Oh.
Which, when I was younger, well, when we were both younger, because that's how time works, if you didn't know that. When we were both younger, when Jake and I, when we were growing up together,
On the
in
mean
the
streets.
fields of Brooklyn, the fields of Brooklyn. Anyway,
In the fields of Kansas, Metropolis.
Metropolis
Yeah.
with all that water nearby. Like the only thing I'd seen him in were Donnie Darko and October Sky and
Oh,
what was Brokeback Mountain. So I'm
I
like,
hope
no
you just keep
way.
naming movies. Like, the only things I've seen him in are, and you just keep going. Like, Zodiac.
And then I saw him in this one. Oh yeah, Zodiac. He was good in that. God,
Yeah.
that movie is creepy as hell. I still can't. It freaks me out. Anyway, but then as I mean, I didn't see Nightcrawler, but I saw
Oh, I did.
the advertisements for it. Oh, I thought you.
I thought
like
I had
a
something in my
spider.
eye. No, if
I was like,
Nightcrawler. I enjoyed Nightcrawler. It surprised me how
But
much I
he
liked it.
he was creepy.
He
in
was
that,
really,
though.
he
Yeah.
was, like, maybe a little bonkers,
Okay,
but like
okay.
creepy bonkers. Yeah.
Right. So as I saw him grow as an actor, I was like, maybe he could play the Joker. Actually, I think he probably would do a pretty decent job. But
Yeah. I don't know. I guess Jake Gyllenhaal is an actor that I forget about.
Me too.
But I saw a movie recently with him in it called Demolition that
Mhm.
surprised me. It was pretty good, and he did a good
Not
job in it.
Demolition Man.
No.
And that's a
So
Sylvester
I think
Stallone.
he's an all right actor, but I just never think of him if I don't
Sylvester
see him.
Stallone.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. We recently watched the Rocky movies, and he has an interesting face because part of me is like, is young Sylvester Stallone really attractive? I think he is, but he has a unique
Yeah,
look. So
no,
it's
I kind of
kind
feel
of-
that way about him too.
Yeah,
where I'm like,
it's interesting.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, I thought he was good looking in Judge Dredd. So
yeah, I think he's aged really well.
yeah. And then of course there's all the Expendable movies that I have. Hear what I said. Don't be embarrassed about Fast and the Furious because I like the Expendables. So I mean, the thing is that if you're gonna go into a movie, an action movie that you know is not gonna be good, or you know is gonna be like kind of stupid, it's different from that versus Man of Steel, where you're expecting like kind of a piece of art, and you don't get art.
I'm expecting a well-made superhero movie,
and you're not getting it. Yeah, and it was like especially during the golden age of all these other films coming out with Marvel.
Well, the Marvel formula is a winning formula.
It is.
And DC needs to find their own formula because they can't copy.
Yeah.
They can't. There was maybe like weak attempts at humor in Man of Steel, but nothing really funny.
Funny, yeah.
Nothing was really great, and I just think that they're like Marvel has set the bar pretty high.
They have, yeah.
And DC, instead of trying to hit the bar, should maybe set a different bar.
Or they could just not
bar.
have Zack Snyder direct it and
Well, yeah,
just
that's-
have Patty
yeah.
Jenkins direct all of them.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She did She
Yeah.
did Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
She did really good.
So, there
So,
you go.
yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah. So I don't know. DC has some work to do,
It does.
and
But I feel like it's getting near the end of
Yeah.
like its run, and it's not going to have very much work left, you know?
yeah, I think that I didn't see Justice League, and I don't really plan to. So
Oh, I liked Aquaman.
I still haven't seen that. I don't know if I ever will.
I liked Aquaman. I liked it. I thought it was cute. It was, I mean, I don't know. I like Jason Momoa. He's funny, and he's
Yeah, he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And he did a good job.
he's got a decent sense of humor, and and I liked Amber Heard a lot too. She was super cute in that role. So when I was in training the other day, one of the guys like let out this huge burp and
Oh,
didn't
jeez.
say anything.
Oh my
I know you hate that. And the trainer goes, she goes, "Excuse you." And he was
didn't
like,
say
"What?"
anything?
No.
Oh, that's so gross.
No.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, "Excuse you," and she's like, "I don't want to be your mother." She's funny. She's funny, but
Oh, that's bad.
Like, yeah.
Follow us on Instagram at Watchers of Movies. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, we're on Spotify and Google Play. And we also have...
He did the cutest like little Google Play. It reminded me of that John Mulaney stand-up where he's like, or it could be a nursery.
I love that. That's like my favorite one. Or the like trash can
Yeah,
on fire.
it's
a trash can
There's a
on
trash
fire.
can on
Could
fire.
be a nursery. Anyway, okay. I lost where I
We have
was.
a Gmail. We have an email.
Oh yeah, we have an email, and if you want to send us recommendations of movies we should watch, it's watchersofmovies@gmail.com, and we also have Facebook. So follow us there for
Yeah.
all new updates. And that's it.
Bye.
Bye.